Our letter today is from commercial heating and air conditioning business. He's having regrets about promoting his brother-in-law into management.
He'll have some real regrets if he takes his advice from these millionaires. They made their money before air conditioning was even invented.
Oh.
How mean, how mean.
I run a commercial heating and air business. I promoted my brother-in-law into management last year. He wasn't a great installer to begin with. I run a commercial heating and air business. I promoted my brother-in-law into management last year. He wasn't a great installer to begin with, but my wife nagged me until I agreed to put him over my 4 installation crews. Honestly, my brother-in-law can be a great guy, but he does things his own way. When I try to talk to him about why he doesn't run things how I want it done, he puts everything back on me, making things out like I'm a control freak. The business is doing okay. We'll do over $10 million this year, but I'm always stressed out when I think about how he doesn't do what I want. Some nights I can't even sleep. What should I do?
Do you think if you're, let's see, if Isla married some guy and, trying to think, and then she wanted you to make him your manager and you were losing sleep, would you be like, you know, I love Isla, and so I'm going to go ahead and let my company be ruined?
Well, no, I wouldn't. But it didn't sound like his business was doing bad,
no,
right?
No, it's going really well.
So if he just was more patient with his brother-in-law and like continued like, I don't know, working on it.
He just needs to work on it. Maybe they can sit down with some therapy.
Sure.
Go to counseling, right? Little marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, what do you think? Should he?
Man, that's a good option. And it's probably the therapy is not such a good option. Because most people aren't going to do it.
Yeah.
But most people probably do her option number 1, which is I'm just going to grin and bear it, right? I would think.
I mean, almost every guy we know seems to have somebody on the management team that says, I know I should fire him, but I can't because blank.
Yeah.
And
good friend, brother-in-law.
Yeah.
We started this together.
Been here a long time.
Been here a long time.
Don't know what I do without him.
Yeah.
Yes, Bryson, what you got?
So what I would say from this is, like, this guy is like, I don't know what he's thinking, but like he really needs to be listening to the boss, because he cannot be thinking of the boss who's like, or really expressing to the boss that he's a control freak. You can't, that's like something that you can't be saying to the boss. I don't know what he's thinking. It might just be because he has a closer relationship with him because that's family, or it might just be that he really doesn't know any better, which is really sad. And, or he just feels that he's like earned the right to do that, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No, because he is in a management position, which I don't know how he got there in the first place. It's only sounds like through his
sister.
Yeah, through his sister. But this guy really needs to be like, the boss and this brother-in-law really need to have like a firm like discussion.
Well, you started out to say that he needed to have a talk with a brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. You know what anger management therapy is?
I know.
You play basketball with some guys who I call them anger management. That's like they need to go to anger management classes.
Yeah.
This guy needs to go to reverse anger management classes. He needs to learn how to get angry at his brother-in-law and to cope,
yes,
okay?
literally.
But let me tell you in the real world what happens, because I'm not a guy who shies away from confrontation. He's going to try because he doesn't want to have to face his wife, because she sounds pretty alpha, right?
Yeah.
His wife is more controlling than he is. So he's going to get himself all excited, and then he's going to go to his brother-in-law and say, we're going to have an argument. I mean, a really bad argument. Oh, okay. And then he yells at his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law says, oh, okay, I'm going to do everything better. I'll tuck in. I'll obey you now. You started the company. I didn't. I'll listen to you. He's going to walk out of the room and he's going to say, oh, he's an idiot. And he's going to have all the crews working against you. And he's going to go on doing things just the way he wants. Because to the man with a hammer, every problem is a nail. This guy has an MO. He has a way he does business. He's never going to change it.
Yeah.
And we know guys that have had these problems, like personnel problems. We've known them for 2, 3, 4 years. And they say, yeah, this year, I'm really going to fire that guy.
Yeah.
And next year never happens. They're just like, whatever weakness caused them to make the mistake to begin with is the same weakness that won't let them just get over it. Fire him.
Yeah.
And they always have an excuse. Oh, but he's a good worker. Oh, my wife will be mad. Oh, you know, I don't know what I'll do without him. Oh, he's been with me a long time. It's always some excuse. And it's weird. It's like any excuse will do, as Brian likes to say. I don't know if I told the story, but Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook. Tell me if I've told the story before.
I feel like we've definitely heard about Mark Zuckerberg, but let's
I'll tell it again. All right, the people on the podcast will complain if I say it twice. But listen, he fired his whole board one time after he got started, and then he got a new board, the board of directors, and after a while, they started working against him. His new membership had plateaued. There was a glitch on the platform. Something was not being done right. And the board was trying to get Zuckerberg to sell Facebook for $1 billion, granted, but he didn't want to sell it. And he went to a friend of his, Ben Horowitz, famous investor, and he said, Ben, My board is working against me. They want me to sell the company. I feel like they're sabotaging me. Will the board, and in fact, I'm telling the story wrong. It's his managers that are working against him. It's all of his, senior managers. And he said, will my board freak out if I fire all my managers again? And Horowitz said, oh, of course they will. But you'll have to do it, right? Like that fast. He didn't say, oh, well, can we have a talk with them?
Yeah.
Can we have a meeting? Can we cast our vision? Can we go to counseling together? He's like, okay, you got managers who are not aligned with you. They're gone.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over. It doesn't matter the fallout. You can't run a company if your managers aren't in alignment with you. They have to have your vision. Otherwise, what are they managing? Like it's like driving a car and your passengers are fighting for the steering wheel. Like you need to pull over and get them out of your car, or you're going to crash. And so it was like you didn't have a choice. Sorry, I gotta retell that story. But you have a manager over your install crews who won't do what you tell them. Yeah. Like, of course you're losing sleep at night. Like you're not running your company. He is, and he's not running it your way. So like he has to go.
Yeah. The only reason why I would say for this in particular is because it's family, and hopefully they can come to a point where they see eye to eye. Yeah. And it's different when it's someone who, if you fire them, you can never see again. But if he fires him, he's gonna have to see him again. Like that's like it's
when you have a hard choice, it's good for you to know all of the circumstances are going to fall out, right? Christmas is going to be awkward. My wife is going to be angry. My customers who love him are going to be pissed. Workers are going to leave with him. All right. Know all of those consequences just so that you cannot be surprised by them, because you still have to do what you have to do, right? You don't get to say, oh, well, I'm going to do the wrong thing because I've got all these excuses. Yeah. But it's good to know, right? Don't be surprised later. Yeah. Everybody's going to quit. You're going to lose customers. Your wife's going to be angry for a couple of days. Christmas will be hard. And fantastic. I'd rather have 100% control over a small business than to lose sleep at night trying to run a $10 million business where my managers are working against me. I always tell people when they get promoted into, I don't have any of my direct reports. I have 700 employees. 11 people report directly to me. All of them were hired in an entry-level role. And I start by assigning them tasks and seeing if they can do them well. I'm looking for competence. Now, once they're competent, then I over-assign jobs to them until they're almost at a break point. I can see they're stressed out. And then I say, you need to go find an assistant. And as soon as they have an assistant, they have now become a supervisor, because now they're going to do that work and they have to make sure everything is done the way I instruct them to do it. And the job of a supervisor fundamentally is alignment. They have to do exactly what I would do in every situation where I'm not present. Okay. I don't need them to improve it. I don't need them to, make things better or do things the way they did them at their old company. I just need them to do everything that I would do if I was present. Gotcha. And if they're good at alignment, and then they can tell they're smart, they can start to come to me and say, hey, how about we do it this way? And we'll argue about it maybe, but that's a manager. Is somebody who can, within the bounds of the policy, they can elevate. Yeah. They can say, let's make this better. And I'm open to ideas, but guys do this naturally. They're like, I'm going to impress him. I'm going to do it totally different than what he said. And audible. That just doesn't work. And it doesn't matter if you're my brother-in-law, you're gonna have to do just exactly what we want. Okay. But there's 3 reasons a supervisor doesn't make it. It's either they don't take me at my word, they don't think I'm saying what I mean, meaning they just filter everything I say. They're like, he said this, but I don't think he meant it. That they won't stay supervisors for long. Second is if they get promoted into a supervisory role and the people under them, they're worried about what they think of them. And so instead of making them do what they're supposed to do, they're like, oh, I don't want to upset these guys. I was their friend. I used to be their colleague. And now I'm just going to let them do what they want. Ryan, what should he do? His brother-in-law.
Yes. Okay, what would the normal me do was I would set some boundaries and say, here's what I'd like to have happen over the next month. Talk with my wife, said, look, I'm giving your brother one last chance. We've had a conversation. I haven't been sleeping at night. He's got to meet these markers. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do his own thing, but I've got to make the change. And the 4 guys who busted their tail, who should have got the promotion in the first place, I've got to promote them. And I'll prolong this for another month at least. And then it'll take me another month to then go, I told you didn't do what you did. He's going to say, no, really, I tried. Give me another month. And it'll go horribly wrong until I talk to you and you'll go, just fire the guy right now. No, the real what he should do.
He should fire the guy. Yeah. And you know who you're really blessing? Is his brother-in-law.
Yeah, him, right.
He's got some character development to do. Yeah. And he needs to learn how to obey. Yeah. You're an attorney. Why would you need to give severance? What are you going to do?
Okay. Well, I want my brother-in-law to not just starve because I unexpectedly let him go. Now, he's known we've had an issue in tension for months. Yeah. But I'd be like, look, here's your salary is going to be $5,000 this month, like it was last month. Okay. But you got to find a nice spot for yourself. I'll give you a great promotion, or great recommendations.
Do you know what he'll reward you with the $5,000 extra that you paid him that you didn't need to pay him? Do you know what he's going to reward you for that with? That his gratitude will be expressed by bad-mouthing you to everyone he knows.
Which he's going to do anyways.
Yeah. So keep your money.
But you're going to take the high road. But I tried to $5,000 to drop in the bucket for your $10 million company.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. We're going to argue about severance. At least we are agreeing in this. He's got to go. I think that it's okay to fire family. I wouldn't tell him, hey, down the road, if things turn around, I'll bring you back. And I wouldn't say that to the wife either, because then the pressure starts to bring him back.
Yeah.
And he's got a journey to go on to figure out how to obey. But Winston Churchill said, he says, he who cannot obey cannot command. And he who cannot turn off his phone cannot be part of the camera crew. That's probably my alarm.
It's his alarm. What do you have to say about that?
Wow, that's me, my bad. Wow. All right, what do you think you would do if your brother-in-law was not doing right and your wife, she was gonna lock you out in the cold if you didn't keep him in management? Put your comments below, and thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. And if you have somebody that you know who has not the backbone to really own a business, send them a copy of this video as a burn, okay? Just to point out the obvious of what they should be doing. Thanks a lot, guys.